May profits be upon you. Welcome to another weekly Forex forecast. Welcome back. All right, let's take a look at the week ahead. All right, if we look at the economic calendar, not a whole lot happening. Monday we're off. Really, there's no red folders, right? And those are the low volume um, kind of days, and you really don't want to do. That's not optimal trading conditions. All right. But what you can see is the misdirection. You can see the misdirection in Monday. You might see the markets head down, sweep some liquidity to the left, and then the actual real trend for the week for the next 2 or 3 days will be up. You understand? Or it can happen vice versa. So you want to be careful on Mondays. Okay. Tuesday, what do we have? The Aussie dollar has a interest rate decision, and as well as the New Zealand dollar. All right, they're trading higher, and we'll see how the interest rate does. You want to wait until after Tuesday to trade these. To be honest, you know, after the news anyway, depending on what time it is in your country. Wednesday we got FOMC minutes, not a earth shaking kind of thing. We're just talking about the FOMC minutes from the last meeting, and then Thursday we have some unemployment claims, and Friday some unemployment claims, some CAD news, but not a earth shattering week by any stretch. Okay, we had good jobs report on for NFP last Friday, and last Thursday, that sent the markets higher, and uh, and you saw the U.S. dollar surge at the same time. I'm always curious when that happens, but you saw it come back down to earth. Uh, Not all the way, but it gave up some of those gains the following Friday, which there was no that was a bank holiday. Now let's take a look at the Dixie, the U.S. dollar index. All right, you see some uh, headlines and some blurbs that bullets I got out of some articles, and you have the July 9th tariff uh, trade line, what deal making expiration date, or what, this was the 90-day reprieve, right? That Trump gave countries that he was, you know, issuing out tariffs on, and he's going to send out those letters this week to talk about these. This is the number that you'll be looking at. This is the kind of tariffs we're putting on you, whatever. And countries are responding. The Japan is sending some negotiators over this week to talk about theirs. That the U.S. is not making the same kind of progress that they promised, that were in the air for China and the rest of them. Uh, so there's some pressure. There's going to be some pressure on the U.S. dollar as well. It is bearish, as you can see. But I told you last week that this was a ascending channel with a support line and a resistance line, right? And we're at the support line, and I talked about we might see possible support kick in. And what did that forecast? Where did that forecast leave us? We saw this respect wick. All right, price did come past that support line, but it ran right back up into the channel. Does this mean that we may see some follow through? It could be. For me, that is a bullish indication, and we can see uh, uh, on the daily, what do you call it, the daily time frame. You can see that I have too many thoughts running through my head. You see that we have this bearish fair value gap here between that high and this low. We have a bearish fair value gap. That price traded into, respected, and then traded through. All right, what does that mean? It inverts. It inverts. And what does that mean? It means that when price comes back to this same price price levels, these same price levels, it'll probably hold as support as opposed to resistance. And that's exactly what seems to be happening here. We see this respect being shown, this inverted fair value gap. Interesting. Could we see price move higher. That's the second time I'm asking that. Why? Because we're seeing indications that, yeah, that's a possibility. Now, if we go to the 4 hour, this is where we get the real clues. You see the bearish fair value gap, all right, that was inverted. Price pushed past it, came back down into it, and we see these bullish candles, right? This was Friday's candles, all right? I'm not really counting Friday's candles because that was a closed bank holiday. We'll probably be looking more towards that Thursday price action, right? Uh, you can see the effects of the NFP robust report, and then what happened afterwards. We came back down to earth, and what I'd like to point out is that we have formed a bullish fair value gap, all right, and prices pulling back into that. What I like to see is the reactions of two candle reactions, but the next day was a bank holiday. So that's why I'm looking at Thursdays. Monday, I'm going to see the reaction, the actual reaction to this bullish 4 hour bullish fair value gap. All right. Yes, there is a bearish 4 hour fair value gap right above it. What I'm looking for is price to bump and get through this bearish fair value gap in response to this bullish fair value gap. I'm looking for price to close a candle above that Thursday high here. All right. If that happens, then that would indicate that we're heading up. All right. For a near term bullish, some near term bullishness. All right. This is a buy the rip situation. Buy the rip, sell the rip situation. So if price rips up on the US dollar, maybe to this high and maybe to test and close the volume imbalance there, that gap, and test this bearish fair value gap, which is untested on the daily, this will be an excellent area to sell that rip because overall the market is still bearish. All right. The market is very bearish. Is this a reversal pattern? Not to me. No, not yet. All right. It got to do some other stuff for it to confirm that. Right now, I think we're still going to be bearish. I think there's some liquidity to come get above these highs here. We get that liquidity, and this will be an excellent area to see further downside. I think we're going to go down one more leg before we start pulling back up. That's we'll see how that goes. Okay, if we go to the euro's just the opposite. Yeah. If we go to the weekly, you can see we are poking above that the resistance line of the channel on the euro. All right, and what do we have? We have a weekly. I'm going to draw it in real quick. We've got a weekly fair value gap here that we could use for higher prices. All right, that means what? We got to come down to it, which means what? Near term bearishness, just the opposite of the US dollar. If it comes down into this is going to be a great place to take a buy. Buy the dip, sell the rip. Let's go to the Dell. Let's go to the daily. All right, and we can see the weekly fair value gap that I have drawn here, and you can see that on a daily basis, price did get above this resistance line of the channel, right? And then tested it, respected it. If we go back one more time, and take that low, fill this wick, take that low. We're probably going to find a high probability trade to the upside once we get in there. Let me show you something else. What is inside of this weekly fair value gap? Daily fair value gaps, 1 and 2. If price comes down to this area, this is an excellent area to find buys. In my opinion, I think this will be a high probability area to find those buys. Okay, all right, but we got to take this low first. All right, if you go down to the 4 hour, why did I say that so fast? 4 hour. All right. If we, you see, there's no bullish fair value gaps to look at, no bearish fair value gaps to look at. We're just kind of consolidating, but we're not going higher as of yet. We're not. What am I doing? We're not going higher. All right. What am I looking at? Some people look at this and we might see, oh, look at that pattern. That's a pennant or something. All right. Now that's not the way I'm looking at it. I'm looking at price inside of this bullish fair value gap here. I'm looking at it. It took its turn to come inside here, and then revisit it. This looks like a weak area to take any buys from. I mean, that's not magic. That's not a magical forecast. It looks like it's going to give way. It looks like we'll be heading towards this line of ascending lows for liquidity to head here. And if we come here, why wouldn't we take these relative equal lows all the way into this area, which is the weekly fair value gap with those dailies, these dailies the fair value gaps in it. So that's what I'm looking out for. If you want to take shorts into that, you can. I think that's kind of iffy because this is a bullish trend. So that'd be counter trend. But once it comes down here, I'm going to be looking for that pattern for my entry function to take buys, buying the dip. If we look at the pound, all right, pound's not too different. Pound was a good one last week. All right, what we can see, we have a bullish fair value gap here, right? Price came down to that bullish fair value gap on Wednesday. Thursday, what do you call it? Reacted. All right. That's the kind of reaction that you want. And I look for the next day. After a reaction like this. The next day, I want to see it close above that candle. If I don't, then I'm like, all right. But what we have here, in all fairness, is one, we had a truncated day, it's holiday on Friday. I can't count that candle. All right. I'm looking at the Thursday candle. We'll see the reaction better on Monday. All right. But we have a bearish fair value gap here. All right, on a daily bearish fair value. We have trapped volume here, trapped liquidity, right? What do I want to see? I want to see one, either we get a close above this candle, we get a close in here. This is the establishment of the this bearish fair value gap, right? This is our first reaction, and it's a muted one because it happened on a bank holiday. I want to see a close above that high. I want to see a close above that high. And that would be the confirmation that this bullish fair value gap is the stronger one that will send price higher. All right. If Monday comes and price starts to head down towards these lows, then I'm going to look at these lows and I want to see if this this fair value gap, this daily fair value gap holds. All right. If we see price ram through it, boom. All right. Then I'm looking, do we have any bearish fair value gaps? Is this bullish fair value gap going to be inverted? And will there be a bearish fair value gap on the other side? Then I will take a higher probability trade to the downside. I'm not taking any shorts in this market until the market says I can. Right now, I'm looking for buys. And what would give me a buy signal is if we open and close above this failed fair value gap. I have to see that bearish fair value gap fail before I start taking buys. All right. If we look at the Aussie dollar, you can see it's been funky. All right. But last couple of days, actually the last week, if we go here on the weekly, you can see that we finally had a sweep to the lows, sweeping liquidity, the sell side liquidity there, and then we swept higher here, all right, and closed higher. There's no reason to be thinking bearishly in this market. I don't want to take shorts in this market. I want to take longs, all right, because that's what the market is showing. But I'm going to wait until after Tuesday for that interest rate decision, right? All right. So you see these long wicks. All right, see all these wicks here. Finally, we took them. All right, you see these wicks here. Price is having a problem going down. All right, we're showing some absolute um, respect to this bearish, bullish pattern here. What is that? That's an order block, man. All right, and price is holding. Price is holding. All right, until price takes this low. All right, I'm still looking bullish on it. All right, once it takes that low, then I'm looking for it to come down here. I'm not interested in taking shorts. I'm not interested in taking shorts. But if price comes down here, there's a strong draw on liquidity here at this bullish fair value gap, and I will be looking for price to take a high probability trade to the upside. Yeah, that's it. That's it. If this fails, this little area fails, all right, and we start seeing closes below that low, then I'm looking on the 4 hour. I'll be looking on the 4 hour for what? What will I be looking for? Let me get, if I can get rid of this. What would I be looking for? I'd be looking for fair value gaps. If we take this low and we form a fair value gap here, I'm looking for price to pull back so I can take it down to these lows. All right, to that bearish fair value gap. Below this low, below this low, and it'd be a great dip buying opportunity here. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, same thing with the New Zealand dollar. Same thing, same situation. All right, we made this high. We finally made a substantial high here. All right, we almost reached that area of demand supply. I'm sorry, here. All right, I was been talking about it for weeks. All right, we have an interest rate decision on Tuesday, I believe it is, not Wednesday. Why did I have Tuesday there? I mean Wednesday there. Who put that there? I did. I'm sorry. All right. So, um, and once we reach that high, I'm looking for nothing but buys. There's no reason to take shorts just yet. We haven't seen a good reason to take shorts. This is a consolidation. When we start seeing closes below these lows here, all right, these lows here, we start seeing closes below that low. We start getting towards here. I'm looking for price to come back down to this lovely bullish fair value gap in order to take a high probability trade up to this area of supply that I've been talking about for weeks. All right. Now, if I can just, move along. All right. It's not going to let me, apparently. All right. I was trying to move along. Please don't. Thank you. All right. Let's go to the Canadian dollar. All right. Canadian dollar's up in some interesting place. All right. I am bearish in the Canadian dollar. All right. There's no reason to be. There's a good reason to be bullish. All right, but I don't think it's going to turn bearish. Why? Because we are in a weekly fair value gap here. This here, and we come up here. We reacted to it. We pushed up. What I'm looking for is a move down. I'm looking for a confirmation before I start taking shorts. Right now, I don't see a reason to take shorts. If we push past this, then I'm going to be taking longs. If we break the bullish monthly, all right, a monthly fair value gap, I'll be looking bullish. I'll be looking for these highs, all right. But I think because of the Canadian dollar being attached to oil and OPEC plus looking to ramp up some production, that's going to weaken the price in the markets, and that's going to bring prices down. So, and I think the Canadian dollar will follow. So, I'm looking for a close below this bearish monthly fair value gap. Now, folks, I have more forecasts to give. All right, for the Swiss and the Japanese yen, I'm gonna have to make a separate video for it, and the Swiss franc and the Japanese yen, and I hope you'll just continue to watch, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay. I'm going to leave a link for it in the comment section below this video, and may profits be upon you.